Guys, this weekend, the 29th to the 31st of May, we have the UK Strongest Man, and this is our prediction video.
So if you haven't seen it already, we did do quite a detailed video going through the athletes and the events for this competition, but we're going to quickly run through it again for you now.
So Group A, absolutely stacked. You've got Gav Bilton, Andy Black, Paul Smith, Matthew McKeegan, Desmond Gahn, Stuart Graham, Chris Morgan, and Pa O'Dwyer.
Then in Group B, we have Mark Jeans, Matthew McCoy, Matt Diamond, who is replacing Mark Felix, who unfortunately had to pull out last minute, Lewis Jack, Andrew Flynn, Ivan Gannon, Jack Osborne, and Scott Milne.
Great list of athletes.
Yes.
I stand by that Group A is seriously stacked.
When you consider only 4 athletes from that group will make it through to the final day. So do you want to quickly explain the format for those that don't know?
So UK Strongest Man is a brutal show. Really, really tough. Glenn Ross puts on a real tough show for these guys. They've all qualified through various national qualifiers. So you have the Southern qualifier, the Midlands qualifier, the Northern qualifier. You have Welsh, Irish, Scottish. And then I believe they take the top 3 from last year's competition. So it's split into 2 groups. And then each day, so you have like a quarter final, Glenn calls it the semi-final and the final. So Group A and Group B both do the same events, but the scores only count towards your group. Yeah. So all you're trying to do, obviously the guys in Group A just need to beat the guys in their group. They don't need to worry about how other people are placing. And if you're in the bottom 3, after day 1, there is an eliminator. So I'll very quickly go through the events for day 1. So day 1, we have the super yoke, we have the dumbbell medley, the car hold, which is just brutal, and you just got to hold this car. I think they're allowed straps, so it's just about holding it for as long as possible.
Kind of makes it worse in a way, doesn't it?
And being event 3, everyone's going to have to be trying. And then the final event for the bottom 3 only is the Stones Eliminator event, and the winner of that goes into day 2. The bottom 2 will be eliminated from each group. So then we have 2 groups of 6 for the semi-finals. Semi-final events are the car roll, which is just a cool looking event. The gorilla grip, which...
It's like a van hold, isn't it?
Yeah, it's basically a van on a decline, and the athlete is going to be holding onto a rope for as long as possible. Quite nasty.
Quite grip heavy these first couple of days.
Yeah, then they've got the Cerberus sack carry, which is 180 kilos, 400 pound sack for distance. That's going to be nasty.
That's crazy.
And then the bottom 3 again go into a stone eliminator. The top 3 that will have already automatically qualified. The person that wins the stones goes into the final with those top 3. So then we have an 8-man final. And the events for the final are a truck push, which is a little bit different. A caged deadlift where they're kind of like stood on a platform.
And quite elevated platform,
with
isn't it?
a bar or a handle that's attached to a chain, and then it's loaded with bricks. So it's quite a hard deadlift. They're not allowed straps for this, and it kind of swings about, and it's a nasty pull. We're not going to see any world record deadlifts pulled on it. I actually think the world record for this lift is only about 320 kilos, so much less than they're capable of. Just a very, very tough lift. Atlas Stones is in the final again. I believe the stones in the final are going to be heavier than the Eliminator stones. Viking press, and then finishing with a medley. And the medley at the UK is pretty nasty. You've seen me do it before. It's just a brutal way to finish the show. So Lizzie, prediction time.
It's a really tough one. I think UK Strongest Man is one of the hardest competitions to predict because the events are weird and things just never go the way you expect them to. And a good example of that is like for the last, I think 5 years, it's been a different winner every year. You know, like it's a really tough one for people to retain a title, even though they do come back and try.
So who's the last few people to win? You got Gav Bilton winning last year before.
That was Paul Benton.
Pa O'Dwyer.
You.
Me.
And Eddie.
Eddie had a good reign, but
Eddie
since then it's been a different winner every time, and the UK is extremely tough. I mean, I won the first year that I did it. The second year I went back. I probably trained harder the second year for it. The first year, we were on our honeymoon. Yeah. And I literally just kind of went to it and had some fun. Second year, I trained a lot harder for it, and I didn't win.
No.
Pa obviously won. Then Pa came back the year after. Hicksy was kind of the favourite to win. Paul Benton won.
Yeah.
And it's you know, it's one of those shows where there's a lot of elements. It's easy to make mistakes.
And that's the thing, like day 1 and day 2, they've only really got 3 events, haven't they, before it's decider time. So it's really like not much opportunity to pull away.
From a fan's point of view, it's great. I've had arguments with Glenn before as a competitor. I don't need to shy away from that. No. But I think from a fan's point of view, it's exciting and it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
These guys are all going to have to work hard. I do believe the guys with experience will have a bit of a benefit in this. And that's going to come into my predictions in a little while.
Okay.
Did you want to do predictions for who we think will make the final, or are we just going to do who we think, say, top 4 is going to be a top 3?
Let's do who do we think will make the final first, just to make it a little bit more controversial.
Okay. Well, firstly, Group A is really, really stacked. You've got, you know, 4 of the big names in the same group. So 4 names that people are talking about. Now, my 3 sort of, if I was...
Come on, just pick 4 from Group A.
All right, I'm going to go defending champion Gav Bilton to make it through.
Good call.
I'm going to go Paul Smith. Paul, excellent strongman. I think he's coming in great shape. Par O'Dwyer. Par is a seasoned pro now. He's been to World's Strongest Man. He's won the UKs. He's got that experience, and he's looking in great shape. And I'm going to pick the new Scottish sensation. I'm going to get a lot of crap from a lot of people for bigging him up, but Andy Black has a lot of potential.
Why will you get crap? Andy's great.
He is great.
How can anyone not like Andy?
Because he's good.
Yeah, because he's great.
But Andy he's seriously impressed me, and I think with the Stones as the eliminator, I think that's going to help him. He's got things he needs to work on.
Yeah.
And I don't believe Andy's going to win the show by any means, but I think he'll make the final, and he'll certainly make things hard for the favourites on a couple of events.
Group B. So I totally agree with you.
Are you copying me with that one?
I'm copying you. How dare you? I agree with you.
I'll tell you what. I've got to mention him. I think Matthew McKeegan. He's one of my boys, and he's looking in great form. He is the smallest guy in the competition. He's exceptionally good on a few of those events, and he could cause them some problems.
Okay.
He is a 400 kilo deadlifter. He's really good on the dumbbell. His yoke's improved. So that day 1, he could be a right pain in the ass for those favourites. Anyway, Group 2. This is a tougher group to call.
Yes, I agree.
This is a very competitive group. I mean, I watched Andy Flynn at the Southern Qualifying. I've seen Andy a few times in the past. Really impresses me. Very, very professional approach. Technically very good. I don't believe he's quite got the static power to win this show this year. But I think in that group, he's going to qualify. I think Mark Jeans has improved year on year. Did awesome at the UKs last year. I think he's coming in confident. I think the events suit him. I think Mark Jeans is going to get through the group. Matthew McCoy is very, very good. Particularly, I think, with this type of contest. Okay. He's got experience with the kit, which makes a big difference.
Definitely.
Lewis Jack from Scotland, he's looked really impressive. He's improving all the time. My boy Jack.
Your baby.
My baby. My big ugly baby Jack. He's doing really well. Obviously just won the UK Strongest Man.
UK Strongest Junior.
UK Strongest Junior.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, to keep me right. Scott Milne's got some great events. Scott, another lad that I train, he kind of...
Pick 4 then, come on.
Oh, this is tough.
I'm going to pick 4 first. Take the pressure off of you.
Okay.
All right. I'm going with Andrew Flynn.
Yep.
Matthew McCoy.
Yep.
Mark Jeans.
Yep.
And Lewis Jack. Sorry, Jack and Scott.
To be honest, I agree with you. I think Mark Jeans, Matthew McCoy, Andrew Flynn, and Lewis Jack, they are going on performances that I've seen in the last year, how they're looking in training. I think they would be the favourites to get through. Doesn't mean they will. And like we've said, UK is extremely tough. Anything can happen. But I think looking on paper, that would be the sensible option. I've said to Jack, I believe Jack can make it through to... day 2 is his worst day.
Yeah.
I think day 1, he'll be good. Day 2 is a struggle. If he makes the final, he's got some good events in that. So, and that's strongman, and that could be the same for so many of these guys,
and for so many competitions as well, where it's structured like this.
But this show, we've got so many events, and it's all reset to zero.
Yeah.
So you could have a great day on day one, you could pick up all these points, but by the time you get to day two, it means nothing because it's all starting from scratch. So that's an element of this competition that makes it very, very hard.
That can work in your favour, like Andy Black was saying. Like day one is what he considers his worst day. So, if he's able to get through that, then he can just completely forget about it going into day two. So.
Definitely. Talking about the final then, do you want to do a top 3 or a top 4? Or?
I've kind of got a top 5.
I want to hear this.
I'm so non-committal because there's only 8 guys in the final. No, I can't.
Top
5 out of 8, I can't do that. That's almost insulting to the 3 that I don't choose. All right, no, I'm going to go with a... Oh, can I have a top 4? I know that's an unconventional number.
You can have a top 4.
Thank you. Okay, my top 4. Do I have to order them?
Well, we've got to kind of say who we think's going to win.
Okay. Right, okay. My winner is going to be Paul Smith. I'm putting it out there. I haven't seen Paul do anything or compete for ages.
I have seen Paul
I know you
Smith.
have, yeah.
I've been watching his training, and I have to say he looks very good.
Good.
I think Paul is... I think Paul's one of the most underrated strongmen in the country. I think he's exceptionally good. There's no gaping weakness in Paul's game. He's one of those guys that's extremely consistent, prepares very well. He's looking in very good shape. I'd probably say he's looking the best I've ever seen him.
Good head on his shoulders as well. I think he can keep his cool, and I just think, yeah.
And Paul is he's been to World's Strongest Man. You know, he's competed at Britain's Strongest Man a number of times. He's competed at UK's. He's got a lot of experience. He won the Northern Qualifier. Paul's a great pick, and someone that none of these guys should be kind of overlooking at all.
No, definitely not. Number 2 and 3, I can't decide between Gav and Par. Or maybe Gav and Par or Par will win it. I just don't know. All right, I'm going to say, out of respect for the reigning champion, Gav Bilton, number 2. Par O'Dwyer, number 3. What's the final events again?
The truck push, the cage deadlift, the Atlas stones, the Viking press, and the carry and drag. All
right, Andy Black for 4. I think he's got the Viking press, which is going to be a weakness, but I think he could potentially win. Oh, do you know what? Truck push, cage deadlift,
Are you changing your mind?
Medley, carry and anchor drag. All right, I'm putting Andy Black up a bit. I know. Oh, I just
Come
don't
on,
know.
make your pick, because I need to make mine.
Some quick mental maths. It's all right, we can cut all this.
Shall I give you my top 3?
No, because I don't want to be influenced by you, because when you get in my head, I get things wrong, because I overthink it. I'm going to put Andy on the podium. He's 3rd.
Who are you taking off the podium?
It's going to be a new podium with 4 places. Who'd you take off that podium? Maybe Paul. No. Oh, that's really hard.
You just had Paul winning a second. Now you're taking him off the podium. I am going to pick Gav Bilton to reclaim his crown. I've been umming and ahhing.
You didn't say that earlier.
I've been umming and ahhing between Gav and Par.
Yeah.
For the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Obviously, we went and trained with Gav, and I thought, there's certain weaknesses still there, but when you look at that final set of events,
it does really.
Where's
Gav
the weakness for Gav?
I
can pick a weakness for pretty much not even a weak. I've got Gav first. I've got Par second, and I've got Paul Smith third. That's my top 3, and
give me a 4th then, because I put myself out there.
I think Andy can make 4th place.
Yeah.
I think he could push for the podium.
Yeah.
I think so many great athletes. Honestly, all of these guys are brilliant, and I think it's great. They're going to get an opportunity to really step out and prove that they're the best guys in the country. But for me, you've got Paul Smith, Par O'Dwyer, and Gav Bilton. All 3 have been to World's Strongest Man. They've got that experience. 2 of them have won the title before. Paul has won countless titles before. They know how to win shows. I think they've got the experience over everyone else. And I think when you look at the final events, Gav is a monster. Gav weighs 210 kilos. He's going to be good at a truck push.
Yeah.
He's a 400 kilo
the anchor
deadlifter.
as well.
His pressing is very, very good these days. His stones are very, very good these days. He's got that body weight for the anchor and drag. There is no weak event for Gav. If he makes that final, he is my pick to win it. Pyro Dwyer, another, he's just a seasoned pro that just gets better and better every year. And Paul Smith, I don't think the events suit Paul like they suit Gav. I think some of the events from the first 2 days would have been maybe better for him. But when we're looking at those 5 events, and that's all that counts once it's into that final, I'm going for Gav to defend his title.
I'd like to redo mine, please.
Liz is backtracking.
I was thinking names.
But now you've seen the events. And how many times do I say?
Do you know what? I know better than that. I had a blur of 10 to 12 events in my head.
I could be totally wrong.
With the right set of events though. Okay. You really messed me up. Really? Alright, no. Par's going to win.
Par's going to win.
Gav's going to be second. Andy's going to be third. And Paul's
you just had Paul Smith as the winner.
Well, now he's gone down. I really hope Paul doesn't watch this before the competition because I have to see him on Sunday.
Paul's going to be watching and he's going to give you...
That bitch. Do you know what? Use this and just go and win it and I can say, let's see.
That is the thing all of these guys should do. It doesn't matter what she thinks. It doesn't matter what I think. It matters what you think.
It's literally for fun. It's just fun, I promise.
It's fun between us because when I'm right, she gets really upset.
You never used to be right.
Until we started doing it on camera when it was more important and I thought about it more. I know a lot of these guys that are competing. Same with World's Strongest Man.
Yeah, it is hard when they're your friends.
But, and I said this to Luke Stoltman the other day because Luke was talking to me about something. I said, if I say something on camera and you go prove me wrong, I'm going to be the happiest person for you. But I'm still going to give an honest opinion.
Yeah.
And that's all we're doing with these.
Yeah, it's never personal, is it?
Anywho, let us know who you guys think is going to win.
Disclaimers out of the way.
It's going to be a brilliant show. Links below if you still want to get tickets to come and watch.
There's no live stream or anything like that, unfortunately. But if you check out Martin C. Find Martin C. because he usually brings a little bit of behind the scenes. He's an MC for Glenn usually, isn't he? So he usually brings something. And
we'll be putting some stuff out too.
Yeah. So. I'm only there the one day, unfortunately.
Yeah, we won't have any of the actual action, but we'll kind of bring you updates if you want to follow what's happening.
Yeah, definitely.
Guys, let us know below who you think's going to be podium, make it through to the final, winner.
Top 4.
Do you agree with Liz or do you agree with me?
What did Liz even say?
While you're here, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my awesome strength content.